Welcome to Slayerfest 98. I am your host, Philip Ellis.
I'm Ian Carlos Crawford.
And I'm Jason Sully. And joining us today is Slayerfest 98's editor,
Ashley Hullett.
Hi, Ashley.
Hello.
So we're all chaotic today. This is going to be a messy recording. We're here to talk about Angel Season 1's Blind Date, which is the second to last episode of the season. It's a very weird choice for the second to last episode.
Mm-hmm.
it really, I was just like, why was this like just not a middle thing?
And it's weird because it feels like they get their stride here at the end, but this one is
At
just
the
like
end,
a
yeah.
weird, like,
The end I see, but the middle is just like, okay, we didn't need all that.
yeah. It's like a lot of weirds. It's also like, so, okay. Jason, that was what you think of the episode. Philip, what do you think of the episode?
So I think you and I were messaging a few days ago about this, how basically season 1, we've been in the trenches together and it has been a real slog, but then as soon as the Faith episodes drop, like everything after that is just like, oh, this is a show that knows and understands what it is. And so there is just an assuredness to, even though this isn't as good as the Faith episodes, there's an assuredness to it. It's taking bigger swings, but like with more confidence. And it's better than I remember. I've watched it twice now. Well, I've watched it once and then like half. And there's a lot that I do like in it. The villain of the week, we'll get into it, but yeah, there's a lot that I like about it, mainly because this is the episode that launched so much fanfic.
Oh my god,
about Angel and Lindsey.
Ashley, what do you think of the episode?
I like it. It's not one of my favorites, and I think I forget like how that it is a pretty good episode just because it just goes under the radar in my memory, but I feel like it drags on a bit in the beginning too much, but once it gets going, I'm pretty hooked on the storyline that they tell with this one.
Yeah, I mean, like, Philip, you mentioned the heist is the interesting part. The rest is like pretty boring.
Mm-hmm.
The pacing of it is weird too. I don't know if y'all noticed that, like, because we kind of just like, she's there from the beginning. There's not like the intro to her is kind of like she's already there. I don't know. It feels weirdly rushed for how also slow it feels. And then like Angel like immediately going into her like the courtroom and like throwing the glasses and then like immediately being like, I can't even protect people and like flipping shit. It's like, what are we doing? Like we're racing through different things here. But then the heist is like the fun part, right? Like also it feels like we've done this before, right?
Yeah.
Like Angel starts this episode at a 10.
Yeah.
So let's get into the start of the episode begins with, we see a blind lady walking down the street. Angel is slaying vampires nearby. Then I didn't twig this until I rewatched it literally just now. He like the random man who is like being killed was not being killed by the vampires. He just happened to stumble across Vanessa, the blind woman, committing a murder. Is that right?
Yes. I was a little confused on that. Yep. Jason?
I was like, at the beginning, I was just like, because it's been a minute since I've been on. I'm happy to be back. And I was just like, oh, we're just popping right in. I was like, and then I actually had to go back and I'm like, wait, did he get, no, hold on.
It almost feels like, not that it needed it, but it almost feels like it's like, this is like the be continued of like a previous episode or something.
Mm-hmm.
Because it is just like, yep, we're in there.
And he really has it out for this blind woman.
I just feel like it would have been a lot easier if they just started the episode like with just a narrator saying previously on Lost, and then go into that scene.
Yeah. I do also want to talk about how that previously on is really like, look, here is Lindsey and Angel's sexual tension.
Wait, I can't wait till we get to that scene, by the way.
Because I will say that is one of Jason's favorite couples in the
Oh my
Buffyverse.
God, yes.
Okay, so here's the thing. I have always thought that the title of this episode, Blind Date, is really just like on the nose, too obvious. And now I'm like, no, blind refers to Vanessa, but the date. This is Lindsey and Angel's first date.
It is. It really is. Like, theirs feels like, it feels like Faith and Buffy kind of tension, where it's like, oh yeah, you're saying you hate each other, but like, yeah, you want to fuck, like, right?
Yeah, and eventually the show will realize that and be like, right, okay, well, we can't, we're a straight show. This is the early 2000s.
Right.
So we can't have the two hot men banging. So we're going to bring back Darla and have her be a sexual proxy for them both.
Yes. That really is like, she's just
oh
like,
my God.
She's like I don't even know what you would call it, but like, it's like, oh, well, that instead of being gay, we have Darla. Like, it's no homo because Darla's here. God. Because like, also Lindsey and Darla, like, they have like acting chemistry, but it doesn't ever feel like romantic chemistry, but we're supposed to think maybe, and like,
yeah.
But that is season 2, which
So
I'm still like constantly reminding Dana and Zach that the show does get better in season 2.
Yeah.
We are still in season 1, so yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. That's the opening, is him immediately fighting this woman. And I do like at this point they are a lot more comfortable with Cordelia. Like, they let her do the researchy thing, and it's never like undercutting or like jokey. It's like, yeah, she knows how to use a fucking computer.
Okay,
right?
That was something I really liked about the opening, is that we have, once again, great evidence that Cordelia is excellent at detective work, and the only one really in this detective agency who does that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so true. This really is Cordelia. She should get like paid more.
Well, like, I mean, we talk about this all the time, but right, it's like not only does she know how to do that, but she's also good at like the business end of shit.
Yeah.
She is the only one who is ever chasing invoices, and as a freelancer for 10 years, I'm like, yeah, same.
She's the reason Angel Investigations is anything.
Yes, like they would have no income if it weren't for her.
I mean, they wouldn't exist. It was her idea.
That's a very good point, actually. It literally was her idea. Yeah, so she finds out that this woman has been like tried for a bunch of murders, but then always got off because Wolfram and Hart represented her pro bono, right? That's and that sends off their like feelers.
Also, though, what is this shirt she's wearing? Did anybody else look at it? It's like a red shirt with like a black cowboy like over on the boob rib section.
Very weirdly placed right on the boob. Yeah, so like, I guess this is like where I'm like, this is so weird, because it's like right after this, it's just them talking about her crimes, and it really feels like, Philip, you have written a novel. It almost feels like two different stories. They're like, mush them together, right?
A little bit. I think they were very interested in, we need to give Wolfram and Hart like a face and have that be like a real, antagonist and a foil that Angel can play off of against. And, in these most recent episodes, we have both Lindsey and Lila, who are also kind of at odds with each other, which is, a great dynamic. But they really wanted to give Angel like an arch nemesis almost. And they were like, oh, well, okay, so we'll have an episode where, Lindsey and Angel are rubbing up against each other, not literally. and then I guess that necessitates like a Wolfram and Hart case. And so they maybe had this idea that, for a kind of villain of the week who was blind but also superpowered. And okay, here's the thing. There is a lot of dialogue all around how Vanessa's senses work. And like, I feel like in this pop culture reference heavy universe that we're used to, would they just say, oh, she's like Daredevil?
Right. I was wondering if like that was maybe at that point a little too obscure, right? Because it's like, I don't even think his like Ben Affleck movie had come out yet at this point.
Okay. I thought that this was like the same era, but okay. So like, yeah. So they go into a lot of weird Orientalist stuff about how she went to Tibet and learned some weird thing that then made her like
see outside the spectrum, something like that.
It's kind of like how earlier in the season that doctor went to Tibet to learn how to like remove his appendages.
It's just like, yeah, that's what he did.
I went to a monastery and me and Deepak Chopra did some yoga, and now I have weird, gross powers.
Yeah, they really do a lot of explaining, like trying to explain her powers when like it's a supernatural show. It's fine. I don't fucking care, right? It's just like you can just be like, yeah, wild. This blind woman can sense things. Okay. I don't care. Like so yes, Angel, is it right after that? No, it's not right after that he goes into court, right? It's after that we then get or no, it is right after that. He goes into court and like throws her glasses at her, which that also feels really sudden. I don't know. It's like he just like bursts in, throws the glasses,
it's
and
so
like
impulsive,
runs. Right?
But I think that kind of builds up his like frustration that he shows after that. Like it's just the whole beginning though is hot. Like Angel had a bad day. I'm allowed to say fucking, right?
Yes, you are.
Okay, I stop myself. I don't know.
God, it really has been a while since you've been on, Jason.
I know. I'm sorry.
I think your last episode was Doyle's last episode.
It was.
Jesus Christ.
Oh yeah, that's been a minute.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it does like build up his frustration, but it's just weird because also it doesn't do anything.
It's the latest example of a pattern that Angel is forming. Where have you ever had a crush where you just sort of come up with like stupid excuses to like be in the same place as them? So at the beginning of 5x5, he rocks up to the courtroom with like a witness ready to testify, and like he's like, oh, no, that got Lindsey's attention. Next, I'm going to go to the blind woman's trial, and I'm going to throw her sunglasses, and it's going to be such a stunt that he'll have to notice me.
But I think though the big part about that is they really wanted. It seems like they really wanted Angel and Lindsey to be connected because they both quote felt out of place, like they don't want to be here. So I don't understand the reasoning behind it. Like, okay, they're connected, but they're not making out. So no way.
So like, what are we doing, right?
Oh man, but that's the thing. Like, I feel like that's what it was. Is like Angel all of a sudden is just like, well, Lindsey feels out of place. I feel out of place too then. And I'm going to have a tantrum about it.
If my crush doesn't like it, I don't like it either. So yeah, then we I think after that we do quickly learn the jury like didn't meet a verdict, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so we cut to Wolfram and Hart. We meet Holland Manners, aka Bernard from Lost. Speaking of Lost.
Yeah, previously on Lost.
I actually was like, oh shit, when did we see him the first time? I didn't realize this is the first time we see him.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I was like, I think this is the first. Yeah, because you're right. Like they want to give Wolfram and Hart like a face.
And while this episode's a little bit of a clunker, I do think immediately Wolfram and Hart works better when they're like giving us actual characters and not just like random one-off lawyers all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like Lindsey and Lila are both good. Like they're like just enjoyable to watch. And like, Holland Manners is whatever, but like, I feel like it makes sense to have like a focal boss, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because then the villains are less nondescript lawyer, and it's like, no, these are characters. And
yeah, but it also means that this is like the first of many speeches we're going to get from this man.
That is true.
I hate all of them.
Philip, do you remember? Is he the one that gets his head chopped off, or is that a different old higher up man? Oh, it's a different one, isn't it?
Is he? Does he get left in the wine cellar? Or
yes, he dies there. So then there's another old man who's a higher up who gets his. Doesn't there someone like an old man who's like one of the head lawyers who gets his head chopped off? I feel like I remember.
I can't remember. We'll get there. That sounds like a season 4 problem, But yeah, so Holland Manners is basically sort of taking Lindsey under his wing, and he's giving him lots of these like, well, what it takes to be a man and the nature of life and good and evil is, and it's just like, oh my God, like just everybody's trying to seduce Lindsey.
What it means to be a man is we have to kiss.
Hello, HR.
So, yeah, he gives them the speech, and then we cut to Angel like flipping shit, throwing a phone, throwing shit.
Come on, Angel.
It was a lot.
Like Cordy organized that office, and I'm like,
and she's the one that's going to have to clean it up.
Yeah,
I wish she would slap him.
I do like when he's like, I forget what he says, but she's like, not in a murder your friends kind of way, right? Like she's always
always making sure.
Well, maybe a night court.
yeah. And my stupid ass, I was like, yeah, that sounds promising. I don't know. I don't know. Then they're like, is this when does Lindsey come in now? I think he does, right? Yeah.
He does.
I love this scene.
Yeah.
Sassy
Angel is so good.
It's such a good first date.
Here's the thing. This scene right here. I must have dreamt it going differently in my head because, immediately it's hot. Like, like Angel just had this tantrum that he's feeling left out, and immediately Lindsey is right there for him. But what did he say? But I think my favorite thing is like Angel's just like, "Are you afraid?" And and I'm like, "Here we go," and then nothing happens.
It's Jason. It's so hot to me because they are both pulling out very different flirting techniques. Angel is like, I am bad. I used to kill people for fun. Are you afraid of me? Are you shaking? Are you trembling? Is your heart beating? Yeah. And then Lindsey's like, I grew up poor. Do you want to hear about it? And then we can hug.
Yeah, like, but I also love that, like, I don't know what it is, like, about Lindsey, just like, yeah, I'm afraid, but I'm not gonna move. I'm just gonna stand here looking at you. Not breaking eye contact the whole time. I don't even think he moved positions when he just stands in the same spot the whole time. They're like, you know what? For this scene, your shoes have glue on them. Lindsey, don't move.
Yeah,
and don't break eye contact with Angel.
If he moves, it's going to be obvious that he's got a massive boner in those baggy trousers.
He's like, I got a leg cramp. I got to sit here for a little bit.
So anyway, so there's lots of A+ flirting going on, and then he tells Angel that this the actual plot of the episode, they're going to try and kill some kids because there's always like some random infant who is a prophet or a seer or something that's going to be in danger, and then we get like a really fun heist planning scene. And where only half of the details are revealed, because then you get like the payoff during the actual heist. And I live for that shit as somebody who has literally just written a heist novel.
I love this. Like Ocean's 11. What is that? Like this is.
Truly.
You know what? I thought of. Ashley, I don't know if you got that far in The Magicians, but Philip, do you remember the heist episode? I can't remember if it's season 1 or 2. I think it might be 2.
What I love about The Magicians is there's a heist in every season.
Also, that's true. The one where they're in the time loop and they all keep dying in different ways, and it's like really fucking funny.
Yes.
And I forget what they're like breaking something magical out of a vault. I don't remember what it is though. But that's what I always think of. Like I always think of like that as a very good genre show heist episode.
And like a heist where there are supernatural forces it's even better because it's like the stakes are higher, more things can go wrong. There's more tricks that you can have up your sleeve, and it's just like the reveal of the vampire detector pig thing is just, it makes me laugh every time. It's set up to be so ominous, and it's just a pig in a hoodie.
It is pretty funny. Like,
I actually, when I saw that, I was like, wait, have we seen this before? What is this? But like, it's not anything. It's just, sure, that's the alarm.
But you know what, though? It's so iconic that from season 2 onwards, it's in the credits.
Wait, is it?
It is. It is. I love it so much.
This planning scene really showcases like that they're finally like a really good, well-formed team, though.
Yes.
Yes.
Wesley's immediately like, okay, I'll get you a plan with defenses on how to beat the demon. And Angel's like, yep. And then they just keep moving.
Yeah. And I really like that we're comfortable with Cordelia now, and they're not just like undercutting her with everything she says. It's like, yeah, we're all in on the planning. We're not even doing like wacky, stupid Wesley anymore. It's like, yes, everyone is contributing.
Mm-hmm.
And I do love Wesley, but the like wacky, dumb Wesley was getting a little bit much for me.
They go a bit hard.
Yeah. Because like, what was it? Is it she where I counted? It's like he falls 4 different times. Like,
Ian, I just love that considering she is like the episode that everyone has hated the most, you bring it up every week.
It's just so bad. It's the episode that like, I feel like I've never been shittier about an Angel or Buffy episode than I was about that one.
I swear, like every Tuesday when a new episode of the podcast drops, Bai Ling just like goose on her grave. Like she gets shivers.
She's like, oh, those fags put out another episode talking about me. Can they just give it a rest? So then he goes to Gunn for help, who we just met in the previous episode. I do kind of like that once Gunn appears, he's only appears 3 episodes from the finale, but then he's in all of them, leading up to him like being in the credits in season 2. And I like, again, like you said, Ashley, he just goes to Gunn, but we don't really know like what Gunn's part is, right?
Yeah,
it's a very good reveal.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really is. So I just want to like mention that when the discussion of the heist starts, that's when it feels like it's a new episode. Like here is where I'm just like, okay, this is an end season episode.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes. And like Vanessa, our blind woman, almost becomes like inconsequential, right? Like,
yeah, like you don't even care at that point.
Yeah.
Like at that point, you're like, all right, let's see what we got. You know, let's get Lindsey out and give him his happy ending, you know?
Mason, I like that you're basically writing gay erotic fanfic in this podcast. Which tracks that one of my straight best friends would be writing gay erotic fanfic.
I do just have to point out one thing that Lindsey says in the episode, because I remember reading a fanfic called A Thorny Path, based on the quote that he says, the righteous shall walk a thorny path, which he drops in this scene. And it's like, all right, Jean-Luc Picard, that's very like, we don't quote Shakespeare on this show, or scripture, or whatever it is. That's a bit much.
We're getting a little big for our britches.
He's got plenty of room.
He does in those baggy pants. And I do think he looks handsome in the suit, but yeah, whenever they like pan away and it's like, oof, that is baggy.
Oh no, he is cute here. It's the loosened tie, the collar, the boy band hair.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
The hair really does it for me. And it's like silly, but I like it. Yeah, so he goes into the basement of Wolfram and Hart and he runs into Lila. And I kind of like, for most of this, you don't know. They're all kind of weird, right? All the lawyers are weird with each other anyway. They always have like a weird fucking whatever. So it's like, are they aware that he's trying to do some shit? Or like, are they just, that's how they are?
Is this just their normal?
Yeah.
Well, I like that it's also implied that Lila is trying to hide something too. Like she's got her own stuff going on. And it's great that it's something they have consistently throughout the rest of the show, is that Wolfram and Hart is a viper's nest where everybody has got their own agenda. They're all playing each other. And, you know, Lindsey and Lila are allies and on the same side, but they have got they will, you know, undercut each other at the first opportunity. And I love seeing the various ways that plays out in the rest of the show. And this is kind of the first real glimpse that we get of that.
Yeah, because they bounce off each other very well, I think, those characters and those actors. But like, and you're right, it's like they're allies, but like they are just waiting to throw the other one under the bus. Mm-hmm. They are allies just by like circumstance, not because they like each other, right?
It's like you're the only 2 gay lawyers at the firm, so you're going to be on the same side, but ultimately there can only be one.
It really is. Ashley, I'm curious, what do you think of Lila?
I love Lila.
Right? Isn't she great?
She's a badass bitch and I'm here for it.
She's so pretty.
Also, I was going to say her eyeshadow here too is like, I had to pause it and look. I was like, oh, it's so good. I want somebody to do my makeup every day.
It's Philip, ever since you mentioned, I forget what episode you were like, when Lila pops up, she looks like a beautiful Star Trek character. She really does.
Oh my God.
It is an episode of Next Generation where she seduces Riker, then turns out to be evil at the end.
With that perfectly done hair. Like,
That's so great.
The soft voice, like the sort of the sideways glances, it's all so coy and hot.
Yes. So then we get Gunn. We find out his part in the plan, and I did kind of like that his diversion is just like, I'm going to run in yelling, and they're all going to be distracted, and then I'm going to bring in the body of a vampire.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Jason, what'd you think of that scene?
I mean, you still didn't even, like, again, you were surprised you didn't know what was happening.
Yeah.
And then you're just like, oh, okay. That was nice.
Right? It's like kind of slick. I like that.
Like the heist was very cool. And also, I mean, I know we're not there yet, but just seeing like I would say the like little wonders of, you know, like the vault, like was just so cool. Like a cool little scene.
Yeah, I do like seeing like the different, like, I don't know, like the different things that Wolfram and Hart has.
Yeah, because it's like this isn't just a lawyer's office space, you know?
Right. And like this very much feels like it plays into season 5, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because like season 5, they go all out and like Fred's on like the science team. They have like a wing where there's like people doing science experiments, which like, sure, fine. Yeah, I do like that. But so speaking of sexy, when Angel fights that one demon that's like the guard of the vault and like does a poison ivy like blow of like stuff in his face.
Yeah.
I thought that was kind of sexy. I'm not gonna lie.
Angel is just feeling himself this episode. He is having a great time.
He is.
Well, he's most himself when he's around Lindsey. I wish he would realize that.
So we didn't even talk about him welding.
Oh,
my
right.
God, yes.
Which like really made me think of like season 4 Spike too, like
Oh yeah.
in the tunnels, which would have been the same time frame, right?
Oh yeah.
So,
I
like
guess
they were just like
been.
really into that. Except for Spike had a full like helmet, and Angel couldn't be bothered to mess his hair up, so he just had those little goggles on instead.
I fully understand, though. I will say I do understand. Also, when I think it's either after or before, when he changes into his suit, he like takes off his clothes and has the suit underneath. Like we see him pushing down pants, and like there's pants underneath the pants. It's very weird.
Double pants.
Yeah, like those baggy pants. Ugh. Yeah, and so Lindsey. Oh, then the pig demon guards alert to because there's, and they think it's that vampire that Gunn brought in, but it's also Angel. Yeah, it's there's a lot that's going on. Lindsey, doesn't he run into the other Lila and God? What the hell's the other guy's name?
Lee,
right? I think he runs into both of them, right?
So Angel, right, what happens? So basically he leaves the security office because he's like, okay, they all think that the vampire in the building is the one in the lobby. Angel is in the vault. Angel gets into the vault, blows that dust in the demon's face, takes the files, which right, because they're trying to steal files. I don't think we mentioned that's what they're doing.
We didn't even mention that.
We didn't even
files about a blind woman and 3 kids that do not matter. And this is where we go. This is why I love the end of season 1, because we're going full, like, forget the detective thing. We're going full urban fantasy. There is a magical scroll that speaks to him, and he takes the scroll. It sets off a huge alarm. He does the dive under the gate as it comes down, and gets out of the building. And that's when Lindsey is on his way out, and he runs into Lee and Lila, and everybody is being rounded up for telepathic sweeps because they know there is a traitor in their midst.
And I can remember the first time I watched this, I was very worried because of course, I'm gay and I already liked Lila. I was so worried that it would be Lila that like got taken out because I liked her a lot. But Philip, who does it end up being?
It ends up being Lee Mercer, who in season 1, I until this rewatch, I hadn't realized he's been here the whole time.
Yeah.
He's been like the other Wolfram and Hart lawyer that we always see. And so it's a very good tense fake out. The mind readers look, sort of quite creepy. And it turns out he was going to another rival firm and he was going to take clients and like intelligence with him. So they shoot him in the face.
God, yes.
Straight up
Immediately,
out.
no hesitation.
And like that blood goes all over Lindsey, like Jesus Christ.
What I love too about that when I was watching that is that Lila also like flinches, but no blood. And Lila's like, my makeup's too good for this.
Yeah, she's not about to get it messed up.
Okay, but before Lee Mercer takes a bullet to the face, what I do love is Lila's like, ugh, like they're gonna kill someone and I'm gonna miss my lunch. Because
Like she calls, right? She like makes a call.
and it reminded me of like the episode with Faith in it, where like Faith beats Lee half to death, and she's like, "Ugh, well, he's not coming to dinner. I best change the reservation." And I just love that Lila became an evil lawyer, so she could just always have like a reservation at the best restaurant in town.
You, Philip.
I have joked about this before, but it is so true. The reason I became a professional author is because I just simply love being taken for lunch.
Nice.
I also like being taken to lunch. Jason, when are you taking me to lunch?
You know.
Yeah, so they like converge back at Angel Investigations, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is this when we learn about the Shanshu No, it's not
No,
yet.
not then.
That's much later, yeah.
This is just when she puts this is when they give Cordelia the files and she realizes that they're encrypted.
Okay, right. Oh, right, because then she has to call Willow, right?
Yeah, and so Wesley takes the prophecy and goes off to work on that, and she's working on decrypting the files.
You know what's a thing that I do really like? I do like it kind of tracks that like Willow would begrudgingly still be friends with Cordelia, even though she doesn't like her that much. Like, and Cordelia would just be like, "Oh yeah, Willow, we were friends." Like, and she would be the one that she would call rather than like, I don't know. I like the idea of them being the only, like Willow being the only one from Scooby's that Cordy like kind of stayed friends with. I don't know. I just like that.
Yeah, I wish we had more of them.
They do go back to it a bit, don't they? Like in season 2, like you see Alice and Hannigan, like they're on the phone. I think it's the Harmony episode. And I do like that because, like, I mean, Cordelia's not going to stay friends with Buffy or Xander. She hates them both. Right. So, like, I mean, obviously Xander's her ex-boyfriend, and Buffy, she's just like, I am now besties with your ex-boyfriend, and I take his side because it was your fault, everything.
Cordelia, I feel like Cordelia, like, respects her, but, like, is annoyed by her.
The only, I mean, not to make it all about the Faith episodes again, but the only thing that was wrong with Sanctuary was Cordelia not being around to tell Buffy about herself.
The thing is, we talked about that too, because I do like that Cordelia's like, I'm going, and she literally leaves and does not come back, but I would have liked her in the episode, but it is a good gag of her being like, you just gave me paid vacation, peace, and like, it's such a power move.
Yeah, and also she's like, I'm not sticking around for like all of this Sunnydale nonsense, I'm a big city girl now. But yeah,
have fun with your drama, I'm going.
So it's a fun little nod that, you know, a reminder that these shows are going on at the same time, and also she like does a fun little gag. She's like, "Oh, guess what they're doing?" Because I think at the same time they were decrypting the initiative stuff. So it's like when you were watching these episodes in parallel at the time, that's a fun little thing. And then what happens?
Ashley?
Well, we skipped over the start of his like little Lindsey's one-on-one with Holland, where he's like,
yes,
we know it was you, and I'm going to give you the chance to like go think about it and then come back. And then we cut to them on the phone with Willow. And then that's when they finally get it done. They start going through it and realize that she lost her sight on purpose.
Wait, who lost her? What?
Oh, the Vanessa. Right.
Yeah, we're back.
Yeah, they decrypted the files, and now they're reading about it that she lost her sight on purpose, and it's all been. I don't. What was her training? She had some sort of kung fu training.
Yeah, you know, like that's exactly.
It's like nondescript, whatever.
Yeah. And then Lindsey comes in.
Right.
But he doesn't tell them that Wolfram and Hart knows everything.
No, because he like double crosses the double cross. Yeah. I also I guess it's just that it's supposed to be that Helen Manners likes Lindsey, right?
Yeah.
Like, because I don't understand why he would give him a second chance, but it's just he just like likes him, right?
Well,
yeah, I think he just sees the potential.
Yeah,
because he literally killed Lee for doing something less bad than what Lindsey did. But it's like, oh no, we can't kill him off. He's Angel's love interest.
I feel like, but that's like also they know someone betrayed them. They have the mind readers. They can't just say, "Oh, it was no one. You guys all have to go." Like they had to, kill someone so that the rest of them could leave, so that he could reprimand Lindsey on the DL.
Oh, that's a good point, actually. Yeah, like they even if Lee hadn't been leaving, they would have like scapegoated somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and it's and I suppose like the fact that Lindsey is betrayed the firm. It's almost like it impresses him in a way.
Yeah. It's the same thing. I said this about Faith to once again go back to the Faith episode. Like how Faith, it's almost like she appreciates when Wesley tries to beat her up. Like after she hits Cordelia and he like punches her and she's like, "Look at you!" Like she is impressed with someone who fights back, even though she knows that she can like kick anyone's ass. And I almost feel like that's like Hullett Manners here. It's like he respects that Lindsey tried to do it. He doesn't like it, but he's like, I respect that.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna keep you around. I didn't like that little twink, so we're gonna get rid of him. But you're all right. I like you. Which like, sure, that can track for an evil law firm, right?
Yep. I mean, they can do whatever they want.
Yeah. So then we get, like Cordy's on the phone with Willow. I do like what she's like, Willow says, "Hey," and they're both like, "Oh my God, come on."
When they're actually having a conversation.
Yeah. Yeah. And she learns about Vanessa, blah, blah, blah. And then that's when she learns about the children, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. I forgot about that. Oh my God.
I know the heist really, it's so weird because the heist doesn't involve the blind woman, doesn't involve the children, but those are supposed to be the two main like plot things.
So when I was making my way through season 1 for this podcast, all I remembered about the episode was the blind woman and the children and Lindsey, sort of very briefly switching sides to help Angel. I had no memory of the heist, which is the best bit of the episode.
Yes.
It's such a fun set piece. And then it's like everything else, they knew it wasn't going to be as fun. So they didn't even bother trying to like put better writing into it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I have no idea. Because we don't even meet the children until like the final act.
The very end, yeah.
Yeah.
That's why we forgot about them.
Yeah, we haven't even seen them yet. But so, is it that Lindsey gets them out and puts them with that guy? Or are they just staying with that guy? I forget.
They're staying with that guy.
Yeah, there's like some also so there's these other characters who don't matter. Who is like the children are being transported to the US under like with their guardian, or like they're meant to meet up with somebody who's going to train them to use their powers. And the Wolfram Hart has the information of like when and where they're going to be to kill them, and that's where they send Vanessa. And I guess that's what happens next.
Because she stabs the old man with her cane.
Yeah.
Which is ridiculous. Yeah, so Vanessa arrives. It really is so weird how like separate from the heist this all is. Because also I think in my brain, I remembered the heist, but I remembered it being that it's all to like get the children out of Wolfram and Hart is the heist. Not get a scroll to tell me where the children.
That would have made maybe more sense.
Right, right. Yeah, so then then Angel and, Lindsey comes in, like we see Lindsey, he's like at Angel Investigations before that. And then Angel and Lindsey arrive at the safe house, right? Because that's when Vanessa like fights them both and like knocks out Lindsey.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The children just sit there in terror the whole time. And then I forget, what do they do to like don't they like...
Angel like figures out that if he's still, she can't see him. But if he's
She's like
moving,
a T-Rex in that way.
That's like how she can see. So he starts acting like a fucking cat or something and just like very calmly, like, I'm just going to stay as still as possible until she's close and then jump. And so that's kind of how he defeats her.
And also the close-ups on her, she looks a little bit like Faith when they're like doing close-ups.
So I was reading about this, and I think she was a stunt double for either Faith or Cordelia with that hair.
Oh, wow.
That makes sense then. Yeah. So yeah, Angel beats her up. And God,
Does he like break her spine or something?
I think he kills her. Yeah. I think
he stabs her with her own stick.
Yeah, takes her cane and uses it against her.
Oh, brutal, Angel.
Yeah, it was. And then he like smirks about it too. He's like,
suck it.
Yeah.
Stop messing with my man.
Did Lindsey see that? Lindsey, did you see that? What'd you think?
Yeah.
Wasn't that cute?
I'm good with a cane.
Stop it. I'm going to have to mute myself for a second.
So I'm glad we're all delirious today.
Yeah.
We're almost there.
We're so close. So then we reconvene back at Angel Investigations.
And boy, does Wesley have some news.
Right.
Yep.
That's when Wesley has the prophecy, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Which mentions a vampire with a soul.
And the 3 kids.
Yes. Which is so weird that the 3 kids are on that.
Because do we ever talk about them again?
No, I don't think we do.
Never. Why would we go back to something, Ashley?
Right. Continuity? Never heard of it.
And yeah, so he's like, I guess that's like them, because it's like, he tells them something about like, from Angel's previous freak out about not knowing what he's doing, but he's like, you belong here, right?
Yeah, there's a parallel between Angel and Lindsey in this episode. So at the start, when Angel is spiraling that he can't fight evil because the systems of power are built around, sort of supporting evil, Wesley literally says like, no, there's a place for you there is a design that you could do something, you can have a place in this fight. And then he says at the end, I think exactly the same thing, like there is a design and you have a place in it. And that's exactly what Holland says to Lindsey, where it's like, there is a design, there is a place for you in it as well. And it's basically placing Angel and Lindsey on opposite sides of the same chessboard.
Philip, you're so smart.
Yeah, that was good.
I pay attention when the boys are this cute.
Yeah, and that's so like he gives him a choice, right? And Lindsey stays. Like he's like, you can leave if you want. And Lindsey stays, and then we get
done.
Yeah, and that's kind of it's funny because when I first watched this, the back and forth with Lindsey did annoy me a little bit, but I think, like you said, Philip, he's cute, so I was like, all right, it's fine.
Yeah, it is a bit of an about face, and it's like all it takes for him to sell his soul is a nicer office.
Which fair.
I mean, it's a great office. That desk is gorgeous, but
Yes.
and obviously, like more money, more power. It's very he's being seduced by evil. But it sort of happens because we had to dedicate so much time to the blind lady and the kids who don't matter. That last turn gets really rushed.
Mm-hmm.
Right, it does feel rushed, yes. But yeah, so then they're both what? This is where we end on both of them like looking out the window, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just thinking about each other.
I know.
They are absolutely thinking about each other.
Like, I wonder what
Lindsay's
Angel's
like,
doing.
how am I going to get Angel in this office? Look at how big my desk is. There's so many things we can do in here.
I hope I can impress him with my big desk. So Angel and Lindsey, that wraps up the episode. And Jason, how many pieces of fanfic have you written about for 2 of them?
Well, see, the thing is, I can't reveal that information because I don't want to give up, my pen name or anything.
Right. Understandable. I think Philip and I have read a few of them probably.
You know what's funny though? When I saw that first scene, where he comes in, I was like, now I see why Ian asked me to do this one. Yep. Because
I know how much you love them. You are unhinged about how much you love them. I watched this show with Jason episode by episode, and like all the time he would talk about. So they get fucked. Like,
oh my god, you guys! I've just gone on AO3 to look up how many pieces of fanfic there are.
All right, hit me.
There are 225.
That's right.
And
Okay.
the most recent one was posted on the 15th of October this year.
Yeah.
Wait, that's today.
Oh my god, that's today!
So that was Jason.
Jason.
Listen, he did a rewatch of this episode, decided he had to make an update.
Yeah. He's like, ooh, let me add a part 5.
I have new information, right?
Well, I know what I'm doing for the rest of my evening. Wow.
Your night's set. Also, I'm looking at the like trivia for this episode, and Philip, it was you that said she might have been a stunt double. She was a stunt double for both Charisma Carpenter and Eliza Dushku.
Oh,
well, that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and it says supervisor. I'm just going to read some of this trivia because I feel like this was chaos. So it says the special effects supervisor says they couldn't afford to shoot Vanessa's perspective using green screen. So instead, they came up with the idea of painting the actors with glow and dark paint, shooting the scenes in the dark. The effect was intensified by offsetting the footage to create tracers. I don't know what the fuck that means. And then reversing the image. It was supposed to tell the story that she sees the action before it happens. It was such a wacky idea and it really worked. Wait, they really did that? Huh.
Yeah, that weird effect that when they were fighting. I remember seeing that. I was like, oh, well, what are you going to do?
Yeah, and then one of the other trivias is that Tim Minear explains that this episode was to provide a detailed explanation of Wolfram and Hart, establishing the power base there and laying the groundwork for season 2. Which I guess, I mean, that's kind of what we thought, right? It was like giving us more faces and more of like a cohesive Wolfram and Hart set.
I just still think that the Vanessa story was unneeded. And I see why they think they would need it. We already think Wolfram and Hart is bad. Yeah. Like, I feel like they did that because they're like, oh, maybe they don't think Wolfram and Hart is bad enough.
Right. Yeah.
You know? And I feel like that's why they forced that in there, but they still, like, it didn't matter. You don't remember that.
It's a very Angel season 1 thing to do, where they're like, okay, how do we let the audience know someone is bad? Child murder.
Right.
Yes.
Like, do you remember way back at the start when we were recording, and it's like, here's a vampire, torturer, pedophile.
It's like, what? Why did we add that in? Like, we already know he's a like murderer vampire. That's bad. Like,
right.
So, favorite. I'm sorry, I'm such a mess today. Favorite outfit, Philip.
It is the split second when Lindsey is walking into Wolfram and Hart when they're about to pull off the heist. Those purple shades, I love them. I had a pair in 2001. And just like his big old boxy suits, like every time he undoes the tie and loosens the collar, I just like my pulse quickens, and his hair. I'm sure there's a point later in the season, maybe in season 2, or maybe when he comes back in 5, where like he has shorter hair, and it's just like, well, there goes my boner. It's just he just looks so good. So I'm going to say like Lindsey with his 90s suits and his Anastasia sunglasses.
Nice.
It's such a specific thing, Philip. Ashley, what was your favorite outfit?
Mine is no surprise Cordelia, but the white top, orange skirt outfit.
Ashley, same.
I love that top. That white top is so
it looks
cute.
so cute
and
on her, right?
Frosted eyeliner that she's got on. Like, it's not in the first scene. She has like frosted eyes, right? Like the eyeshadow. It's all of it. But in the later parts of the ep, she just has the frosting like around her eyes, like eyeliner. And I was like, oh, middle school. Just so beautifully nostalgic.
Jason?
Well, absolutely. Like Lindsay's suit.
All right.
But I think, you know, I don't know if I think it's this episode where Lindsay's like, you know, Angel, I think I have you figured out. And then you put on a suit.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, y'all in your suits. Pop them on. I don't care how big they are.
No, that's actually in the previously on from the Faith episode.
Oh,
that
is
fair.
that?
Oh, yeah.
That's what I was like, I don't know if it's in the episode. But I know.
You know what?
It was when I saw the previously on. Yep, there it is. Yep,
because
thank you.
That's one of the first.
It wasn't in any of these scenes. It didn't work out.
And that's like one of their first big gay moments, because it's like, what? Like,
it's very menatplay.com.
Yes. Oh, vintage.
I'm dating myself there.
But yeah, my favorite outfit was the same as Ashley's. Cordelia looks very cute in that like white. Wait, is that called a peasant top? That's not a peasant top, is it, Ashley?
Oh, I have no idea.
Is it the one where I like that they kind of lean into a bit of a hippie aesthetic for Cordelia in season 1. Lovely turquoise jewelry. I think that's the outfit, right? There's like a lovely necklace with it.
No, that's the one she wears in the next scene. I think it's like a red flowy top. It's like almost the same top, but a different color.
Right.
Favorite scene, Ashley?
I'm gonna go with when she's on the phone with Willow.
Okay.
Just because even though they're not on the same show anymore, they've come so far. Like season 1, when Willow tells her, "You just hit deliver," and she deletes the entire thing, and now she's like helping her decrypt files.
Philip?
I mean, we love women in STEM, but no, my my favorite scene. It's the whole heist set piece. It just has to be. It's so fun. You've got all of the ups and the downs and the reversals. Gunn has that great sort of really wacky monologue in the lobby. It all works, and it's so fun to watch.
Yeah. Jason, I know what you're.
I'd like to read you an excerpt of my latest fanfic. Angel, pulsing from anger, just looking straight down his desk, feels a presence walk in the room, and it's Lindsey. Their tension is so high that you can hear Lindsey's sweat dripping from his forehead to the floor. They lock eyes. Okay, it's that scene, obviously.
I'm a little hot here.
Jason, can you send me a link?
Yeah. Can you send Philip and I files of you reading the rest of that? That'd be great.
I actually got artwork. I got artwork too.
Oh, great. We love visuals.
No, I do really like that scene, but I mean, obviously the heist scene, I feel like just takes everything because it really does. Just I think show like the deeper intricacies of Wolfram and Hart.
Yeah,
and I do really like that. But the scene with any scene with Angel and Lindsey, I don't like. They really did have chemistry, didn't they? Though.
Yeah.
Like what the?
I think I've read a few things that said like they actually were friends like before they started working on this. So like, I guess there's a world where if you and I are working together, Jason, people be like, wait, are they fucking? It's like, no, we're just really comfortable with each other. Like,
we just know each other really well.
Yeah. But yeah, the Angel Lindsey scene is like hot, but also the heist scene is like fun.
The heist scene is so good. Yeah.
What grade do we give this episode, Philip?
Well, I mean, it's 2 episodes in one, isn't it? As is so often the case in season 1. You know, they have a bit that really works and then a bit that's also there. So an A+ for the heist and the homoerotic subtext, but a C for the villain of the week. So I'm going to round it up to a B+ overall, I think.
Oh, all right. Jason?
You know, I was gonna start off with an easy C, but then as we talked about, I'm like, okay, it does because like like we talked about earlier, I don't think it was like an end game, like an end of season. Yeah. But I guess like I guess after the heist, like it's like okay, they did set this up correctly. Like you know the baddie in this was it could have been better, but either way, I would say a B.
All right. God, you're all very fair. Ashley?
I am going to say I also went up. I had a C as well, but I bumped it to a B- because the good parts are really good, but it's just all over the place.
Yeah, I've gone up from a C to a C+. I'm not going crazy. I mean, I'm not
going
a C+.
I mean, listen, if that Angel and Lindsey scene wasn't there, this would probably be a D.
Also fair. So thank you all for joining us. Thank you all for listening. God, my brain is dead today. If you like Slayerfest 98, you can find us on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and anywhere else you get your podcasts. You can support us on Patreon. We have finished Harley Quinn season 2. We're finishing up What If season 1. And yeah, there's a bunch of other things over there. You can get access to our Discord server. And if you want to follow us on social media, we are at SlayerFestX98. If you want to follow me, I am at ENXCarlos. Jason, where can everyone find you?
I'm on Twitter and Twitch at Jason Sully, SULLI.
And Philip?
If you like heists and gay shit and lots of yearning, you can find me on Amazon. My debut novel is now available for pre-order, Love and Other Scams by Philip Ellis. I'm also on Twitter at Philip_Ellis.
Ashley, where can everyone find you?
I'm on Twitter at MythTaken314 or on Instagram at 'cause I'm feeling fine.
All right, well, we will see you all next time. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.